Hi, welcome to another episode of Culture Mavens. I'm Tom Teicholz. Rabbi Susan Nanus, who's usually here with me, is on a week leave or vacation, much needed after this very taxing pandemic year. Now, things are opening up again. LACMA is back open with limited attendance. I'm suddenly getting invitations to go to galleries and museums. The Skirball is getting ready to reopen. The Hammer Museum with its Made in LA show that was supposed to be shown in 2020 but never got to be shown is about to open up, and there's going to be lots to see and lots to do. It's exciting, and yet at the same time it's sort of it's an adjustment to feel like we're ready for this. When the Jews crossed the Red Sea and got to the other side, it didn't take long after they were celebrating for them to start complaining and saying, why did you do this? Why are we here? Why do we have to go? Why is this happening to us? So there's always a little bit of that. I wanted to tell you about one particular experience that I recently had, which is with Mekudeshet. Mekudeshet is a cultural festival in Jerusalem in all kinds of cool locations. This year, they're doing it virtually, and you meet different people from Jerusalem, like Rabbi Tamar Elad, who is a Orthodox woman who was given the special dispensation or right to read sacred Jewish texts, and who is part of a Jewish spiritual revival for all Israelis. One of the other people is a officer in the Israeli army who is, I believe, the first transgender officer in the Israeli army, who talks about his experience, and a religiously Orthodox, extremely politically conservative gay woman, and then two Palestinians who sort of talk about their continuing struggle to break down barriers among fellow Jerusalemites and to claim their place in Israel. If Jerusalem is close to you or part of your soul, this is a beautiful way to be back in touch. And if it isn't, it's a great introduction to a Jerusalem that you might not otherwise know. So that's my first recommendation. There's a book that I want to recommend called The Ocean is Closed, which is a collection of the writings of a journalist, Jon Bradshaw. Bradshaw was very much a magazine journalist in the 1970s and 1980s, when sort of being a magazine journalist was certainly at the cutting edge of writing and culture. And Bradshaw's profiles of Tom Stoppard and Hunter Thompson and biker gangs and his travels to Jamaica to hang out with Chris Blackwell all make for wonderful reading of a bygone era. And Bradshaw, unfortunately, passed away quite young at 48 of a heart attack on a tennis court here in Beverly Hills. And Michael Zilka, the founder of Z Records, launched Z Books to publish such tribute collections. And they published a beautiful collection of Glenn O'Brien's work. And now they're publishing this edition called The Ocean is Closed of the work of Jon Bradshaw. I hope to be reviewing in the Los Angeles Review of Books in the weeks to come. Beyond that, on television, there continues to be plenty to watch. I have survived my binge watching of The Bureau, and the fifth season, the last season so far, which I thought was going to jump the shark, turned out to be quite complex and interesting and poignant. All in all, worth watching. They've also released on Amazon the third season of Balthazar. Balthazar is a French detective show focusing on a medical examiner named Balthazar. The series is written and created by a woman, and one of the funny things is that inevitably every episode, Tomar Sisley, the Israeli-French actor playing Balthazar, takes off his shirt and shows his well-defined abs. And you can kind of set your watch to it. It's going to happen. So it's quite funny in that way. So I'm enjoying the third season of Balthazar. One last recommendation. While, making my late night wanderings, cultural wanderings on YouTube, I've come across this incredible woman performer. I guess you could say her music is classical, but it certainly defies that genre to be also new age or pop. I could easily imagine her performing on stage at Glastonbury or Coachella. Her name is Hania Rani, and she's Polish. There's quite a few videos and performances of hers. I really recommend you check them out. It's the most unique musical performance and musical performer and music that I have heard in a long, long time. Sorry to kind of rush through this. If Susan were here, we'd be able to have more of our back and forth, and I would be curious to know what Susan has been watching and what's been, taking up her time. But I suppose we'll find out more about that when we have our next Culture Maven. So until then, be well and enjoy culture. Bye.